It's not recording. Well, I guess it is up there. Okay. All right, let's rock and roll. So we are on Scipio. I'm with Ryan Stocking here. He's teaching us how to automate our business. And so we're first talking about setting up seminars and workshops. So this is real live stuff right here. There is no pregame. This is right into it, right?
Yep.
Do you want to introduce yourself real quick, Ryan?
Yeah. So my name is Ryan. I'm on the team at Scipio. I do a lot of consultations with customers to make them Scipio experts.
Awesome.
So, are you pretty familiar with the platform itself?
I've been playing around with it, so yeah.
Okay. So I don't need to go into really in depth on just like the basic feature set itself. We can go right into the strategy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. I think the one thing that I am just trying to get, so the difference between campaigns and groups, I guess, is if you can go a little bit more into that.
Absolutely, yeah. So groups are just a way to organize your address book and your contacts. So when you upload contacts, you have the option to add them to multiple groups, and then you can either add those groups to a campaign, which is like a drip campaign, or you can send out a scheduled message to those groups. So the main difference between a campaign and a scheduled message, once a campaign is triggered, there's predetermined delays in between messages. And then with a scheduled message, you're just saying, I want a text message to go out at this time on this day. And it's kind of like a one-time thing. The campaign is a series of scheduled messages. So, and one going out will trigger the next one. So maybe you have a message, and then 3 days later you have another one, and 3 days later you have another one. So the way that you would schedule a message is you'd click up here on this pencil icon, which you've probably done before. You'd go in here. You could either send it to an individual recipient, or you could send it to an entire group. You would select the day or the time that you wanted that message to go out, and then you would type the body of the text. You can attach a file here, so you could take a photo with your webcam. You could upload something. You could record a video clip. You could record an audio clip. You could link to social media, and then that would be included in the text. And then if you were to hit continue, then it would schedule that message. And like I said, that's kind of a one-time thing. So maybe you have, I don't know, maybe it's a holiday and you want to send out like a holiday-themed message. So you would schedule that for Christmas Eve or something, or Christmas Day, and say Merry Christmas.
And I can do that to a group, or I can do that to a campaign.
You can do that to a group or to an individual. So a campaign, we can jump into campaigns real quick. So a campaign is multiple scheduled messages. So a scheduled message is kind of just one-off. It's going to go out just one time, and it's not going to trigger anything else. A campaign could be one message, or it could be 100 messages.
Okay.
So, for example, looks like you have some campaigns here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You already
so I set up Strengthen Your World one, so that's the one I was wanting to focus on.
Okay. Oh, perfect. So you even have some keywords.
Yeah, I guess the issue that I'm running into is how do I get them from my constant contact to go immediately, or do I want to put them in a campaign, or do I want to put them in a group? Because I have multiple seminars throughout the year. So how do I make it time out perfectly with my seminars? How do I say text them 30 days out, or text them 20 days out, or you know what I mean?
Great question. Yeah. So the easiest way to have those contacts automatically uploaded into Scipio would be to work through Zapier. If you're familiar with Zapier, they're like a middleman service.
Okay.
And I'm almost positive that they work with Constant Contact. So you can create triggers. It's pretty simple, and we can help you set that up. So you would create, they're called Zaps. the name of the triggers. So you'd create a zap that says when a new contact is created in constant contact, take that information, take it over to Scipio, and add it to this group. And then you can have that group automatically added to a campaign, if that makes sense.
Do I add them to a campaign or do I add them to a group? So that's where I'm totally confused.
Gotcha. So a group is basically just a tag. You're just labeling that contact. You're associating them with a certain tag,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just a way to stay organized. So if we go into your address book, so say you want to have, like, for a specific event, everyone who's signed up for this webinar, we'll just say, for example, it's contacts 1 through 10. So you would select 1 through 10, and then you would add them to a group called whatever the event name is, And then when you're messaging those people, maybe you want to send a message to just that group, then you would call April event, and you would message just that group. Or you want to add that group to a campaign, you would click here and you would add them to that campaign.
I feel like it needs to be a group because I'm going to have people. So sometimes they're going to sign up on a Monday or on a Wednesday. Sometimes it's going to be they're going to sign up 15 days out or 10 days out. So how do I get them automatically to be synchronized through the campaign? That's
it's all synced up.
Yeah.
So we're working on a feature right now that's called event campaigns. So instead of having a start date and then having, like, as the contact comes in, they begin the campaign, it'll have an end date, and it'll have messages that are set backwards. So then everyone will be synced up going up to that date.
Oh, okay.
But as of right now, I don't think that's released. I think it's just in beta.
Okay. Do you have a anticipated time when that will be done?
Let me message the dev team and see if I can get a number.
Because that would be really good. So it sounds like right now I need to do a group rather than a campaign.
Yeah, it does. Because then you can say, everyone that's in this group, I'm going to schedule a message for this day, and this day, leading up to the event.
Okay.
I message them.
Now, can I save messages? Can I save certain messages to send to a group?
Absolutely. So you would come up here. This is one way to get to it. This little double square right here will take you to your message library.
Do you see this, man?
Yes.
So here in your message library, you can create basically a template. So this is a message that you're going to send out often, then you would type that in here.
Okay.
And then every time you wanted to send that message out, you would just click here, select here. I mean, if you had a ton of templates, then you might need to search.
Okay.
You can create tags for each one of these, and then you would select it, and then it would pull it in here.
Okay. That'll work.
So that's where we need to create all the campaign messages so we're not recreating them for every event, right?
Yeah. So we'll just put Strengthen Your World 5 days out, Strengthen Your World 3 days out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or whatever event that you'd be doing for those that are listening.
Totally. So then we can just go really quickly into campaign creation. It looks like you've already got a handle on this, but I'll just really briefly go over. You would name the campaign, give it a description. This is just for your own internal reference. You can share campaigns between Scipio accounts, and so that can be helpful there. If you're creating campaigns that you want to share to other team members or other Scipio users, you can give a description here. A keyword. This is a word that they can text in to your Scipio number and get automatically added to a campaign. So that's really good for lead generation. That's probably one of the main uses, because you could put that word and that number up everywhere, and everyone who texts in, if you don't have their contact information, they'll automatically be added to your address book, and you can have a contact form sent to them. And if they fill out that contact form, then it'll update their contact information in the address book.
Yeah, and I think that seems a little weird. If I'm so let's say I'm talking to someone and they're a potential client, and I say, "Oh, text online training to this number, and then I make sure it almost says like, hey, this is not really my number, and this is just a system.
Yeah, I mean, you can change the wording on this contact form.
Oh, you can?
Say that? Yeah, so it's not going to say something like, hey, this is Coach Brady, and I want to have your number in my personal phone. You could have that say like, this is our business line or something. We want to store your contact information. To stay in touch.
Can I have multiple different new contact forms, or is it just one?
You can have multiple ones.
Do you want to show us how to set that up?
Absolutely. So this is a way that you can get them in your address book through a keyword. So by texting that number in. The other way that you can capture leads is through this link right here called Skip Links.
Mm-hmm.
And what this does is it generates a URL that will take them to that same contact form, but on their browser. And you can have those people added to a campaign, and they'll also be automatically updated or added to a group that's specifically associated to this skip link. So, for example, if you wanted to call this one new contacts, or maybe this is email list. Maybe you have a list of emails, but you don't have any of their mobile numbers. It's pretty clunky to send out an email that says, hey, we want to stay in touch. Text this word into this number. So they're on their computer looking at an email, and then they have to pull up their phone and read it off the screen and type it on their phone. So maybe you want them added to a campaign automatically, or maybe you don't. Maybe you just want to get their contact information. So here in the contact form, you say, hey, I just want to stay in touch. Can you fill out this form?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, everyone who fills out this form in your address book, there'll be a link tracking group here, and it'll have the name of the skip link. And then you can click on there and you can see, okay, here's all the contacts that have been added to Scipio through that link. And then the same is for keywords. You'll see them all added here based off of their keyword that they texted in.
When they want to be added, right? They text in a keyword.
Right, yep. Okay. So if they don't fill out that contact form, they'll just appear in your address book as nameless contact, like it's here, until they fill out that form and it's updated. Or you can manually go in and update those contacts.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But it doesn't sound like you'll be doing as much lead generation just because you're already getting your leads coming in from your website.
I will be doing lead generation. So the other campaign I created right now is for people who I meet and I want to funnel them to an online webinar. Yeah, it says new potential coaching client online coaching webinar.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, and then I have some coaching groups that I want to create, that I'm creating, and then I'll be sending out custom messages to them.
Okay. Something else that you can use keywords for is you can build kind of tiered campaigns. So you can reference keywords within your campaign. So maybe in one message you say, if you want to get information about this aspect of my coaching, text this word. And then that sends them, this set of information. It enters them into this campaign.
Oh, so
this campaign.
Okay, so on the actual campaign, I would say, okay, you can text this, and then it'll send you here. If you text this, it'll send you here.
Right.
Ooh, I like that.
So we do something like a use case that we use that for is we say within our onboarding campaign, we'll say something like, if you want to get our weekly text tips, respond tips. So if they texted tips,
mm-hmm.
then it enters them into a weekly tip campaign that's like 30 weeks long.
Mm.
But then it's all opt-in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that because then I could redirect. So I put them in one campaign, and then I say text
Yeah.
this word, and it will send you my podcast link, or text this, and it will send you my Facebook group, or text this, and it will send you to my Instagram or whatever.
Totally. Yep. And then you'll have a separate campaign with that keyword on it that gets triggered from them responding.
See that?
I'm making sure my student is paying attention.
I'm paying attention.
We'll just put the video on her to make her pay attention.
Stop, Travis. I do not feel good. I am paying attention. Travis.
I turned it away.
Okay.
Okay, me too.
And then my other student in the corner fell asleep.
You see him?
Oh, nice.
We have the whole damn fam in here, except one.
And then one's missing, absent.
So it looks like the next steps are going to be to set up Zapier for your account with Constant Contact so that people are getting automatically added to these different groups. How often do you have events?
I'll have like 10 a year, 9 a year.
Okay, so almost like one a month.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so we would set that up so that all the contacts are coming into one group, and then like you said, you would just have 3 days before, 5 days before, and probably the easiest way to set that up is you can come in here to the calendar,
Mm-hmm.
and if you click on a day, it'll pull up that message composer. So you could say, all right, my event's on the 28th. I'm going to go back 3 days, click on the 25th. This is going to go to my, group one, maybe it's called, and I want it to go out in the morning.
Oh, so you can set out certain days when they go out.
Yeah, you can. It just wouldn't be a campaign. It would just be a scheduled message.
Okay, so I could tag a group and I say everyone on this day that's part of this group will receive this text message.
Yep.
Okay,
So
that makes sense.
maybe if you want to send it to the coach group at 9:56 a.m.
Do you see how that works, babe?
Yep,
Say,
I saw it. It's a scheduled message.
hey, we're excited to see you in 3 days. Watch this, whatever. You guys know what the content is.
Okay, that makes
And then you
sense.
Line out that way. And then what this will show you, the dark blue messages means that it was a campaign message. So you can see here, today you sent out a campaign message here and 2 campaign messages here. And then the light blue ones, just froze up for a second. Light blue means that it was either a scheduled message or it was just like a one-off message that you messaged them from your message center.
Okay, so dark blue is campaign.
Dark blue are campaigns.
Okay.
Those just the automated on a schedule.
Look at Max.
You're the one not paying attention.
I'm the one not paying attention.
What's your...
Then you can also break it down. This is pretty intuitive, but you can break it down by groups. So you want to say, okay, where are all the texts that I've sent out to the group coach? Here's where they are.
Okay. Oh, and you can see, Trav, he can categorize what's being showed on there.
Okay, cool. Oh, it's not working.
Sorry, I'm having him pull up the app on my phone in case I have questions.
Okay. Here, there's just one little thing here in the profile settings. Is you can set the delivery hours for campaigns. That can sometimes be important if you have like a 6 or 8 hour delay or something on a text. Because if somebody was added to the campaign at 6 p.m., then that next scheduled message would go out at 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's not something that you want. So you can set a limit
After reset password.
to those messages.
Okay, cool. So it's so it's set up Monday through Friday right now, right? Okay.
Yep. But maybe you want to send out Saturday messages. Maybe you want to send out Sunday messages. That's just to prevent you from sending messages at times that would be kind of weird. Like, why are you texting me at 4 a.m.?
Right. Can you click on Saturday for me?
Sure. I have that turned on.
Yeah, and then set it to 6 p.m. Awesome. Perfect.
Look over here at these notes real quick.
And then I guess you guys, what he was saying is you'd send me some campaigns that you guys already created? Or share some campaigns?
Yeah, we have like some really, really generic ones. I'm trying to think off the top of my head which campaigns I'm aware of that would be the most relevant. We have a ton of like fitness-oriented campaigns, like fitness follow-up, fitness coaching.
That'd be a good one.
So those could be some good ones, like personal. They're more like personal trainer-oriented, but it's the same like follow-up type messaging that you could tweak and make it your own.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, I'll send those over to you. I'll show you real quick how you can share campaigns. So if there's somebody else that you're aware of, that has a Skipio account and they make a really cool campaign, rather than going in and manually recreating it, you can have them go here and click Package Campaigns. You can select which campaigns you want to have packaged, and then this import code, which you can change. You would come up here and click Import Campaigns, and then when you import that code, those campaigns would be imported into your account.
Okay, so so I'd give that code to somebody else, and then they just click import.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of people that are using Skipio and their partners are using Skipio is they'll do that. Is someone will come up with a really cool campaign and then they'll share it in between each other. Where you could create campaigns and use it as like marketing. It's like, hey, sign up for Skipio and I'll provide you with these campaigns to get you started.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So, do you have any questions about any of this stuff so far?
No. If you have time to show us how Zapier works real quick, that'd be great.
For sure. So I'll need to send you an invite link so that you can have access to it. So you're using Constant Contact. Okay, here it is. Oh yeah, this will be super easy. So what this will do is you can find the right trigger. So we're going to want to use like, it's not going to have Skipio as one of these options because our app is still private, so you have to have an invite link in order to use it. But what it'll do is it'll say, okay, when Constant Contact creates a contact, that'll set up a trigger that will create that contact in Skipio as well.
Okay.
So I'll send you over that invite link, and then you'll have to sign up for an account, and then it'll walk you through the steps of what you want your triggers to be, like what you want to have triggered, what event you want to have as a trigger, and what you want that to trigger on the other end. And we can walk you through that. I don't actually have a Zapier login, so I can't like show you that dashboard. But it's pretty intuitive, and you can definitely reach out to the support team and ask them to help you out if you get stuck on anything.
How much is the Zapier?
I think it's free. Well, the Zapier itself is free, but sometimes the apps will have a monthly charge. But it doesn't. I don't think Constant Contact has any charge, and we don't have any charge on our end.
Okay. All right. I think that pretty much does it. Do you have any questions?
No.
Any other good tips?
Yeah, this is probably what I think is probably one of the most underutilized pieces of Scipio. What really makes the difference between like a really powerful Scipio user and someone who's just kind of coasting is this performance tab over here. So if you go into a campaign, you can click performance and it'll show you how many were sent, how many people responded. It'll tell you if there's any links in the message, how many people have clicked on it. And so what I recommend to people is it takes some time, to really collect good data. But if you periodically go in here and just review your campaign's performance, you can really optimize things, because very rarely are you able to come up with a perfect campaign the first try. But if you're going in here like on a weekly or bi-monthly basis and looking at these messages and saying, okay, which messages get the most engagement, which messages are getting ignored, which links are getting the most clicks, you can optimize these campaigns to really hit hard. We have some people that contact us and they're like, hey, I get like a 2% response rate on my messages. How come Scipio is not working for me? And we go into these performance reports and we're like, well, look, your first 8 messages, you get 0 responses. Like no one's responding to those messages. So there's obviously something wrong with what you're saying. So you can look and say, all right, like we do this all the time. We'll go into our campaigns. We'll say, okay, this link that we're sending out to this testimonial video is getting like a 2% click rate. So why are we including that? It's obviously not something that anyone's interested in. Yeah. So we remove that message. Or we'll say, well, message 3 is getting a really big response. We have a high engagement rate with that message. Why don't we move that message up to the first message that we send out? Because that's the one that's really getting people hooked on what we're saying. So yeah, that's just one of my recommendations. And we can help you look at these, like review these performance reports if you'd like. But it's usually pretty obvious when you go in here, especially as you push more people through these campaigns. If you push several hundred, it's pretty obvious which messages get the most engagement.
2%, that's awful, especially for text message.
Oh, it's horrible. But it's generally the people that I would call more like spammy users. Like maybe they're texting 1,000 people at once and their message is kind of spammy. And so we look at that and we're like, well, no one's going to respond to that because you're not sending them something that's really relevant. It's just, so yeah, it's pretty terrible. But yeah, that's probably one of my recommendations.
Okay.
Makes a pretty big difference over time. That way, we do tests all the time with different messaging. So we'll come up with a kind of a beta campaign, and then we'll push 200 people through it and measure the response rate, and then we'll make like an A/B test. So we'll like have an A campaign, a B campaign. We'll send flows through both of them, and then we'll review it and say, okay, which one had higher engagement? Where did we have more signups? Where did we have more link clicks? And then we'll go with that one.
Yeah. So what, I don't know if this is something you guys are working on, but they were saying through a campaign, if someone doesn't respond, it will send out another text message that's different from other people who did respond.
Yes. Yep. So let me see if you have this enabled. So that's a feature called Smart Campaigns. Looks like you don't, but I'll turn it on. So you can add rules at the bottom of a campaign. Right now, those rules are pretty basic. You can have basically 2 triggers. One trigger is if they respond, and one trigger is if they click on the link. Okay. You can set a group of rules. So maybe if someone clicks on the link, you remove them from this campaign and you add them to another campaign. Or if someone responds, you remove them from the campaign, you add them to another campaign, or you add them to a group. The kind of the vision for that moving forward is that there'll be smarter and smarter logic to where if they respond, it can detect, a positive response, a negative response, and you can have much more complicated campaigns, I guess, where you can say, ask a question if they respond positively, and that could be anything from like, yeah, or sure, or sounds good. to have them added to another campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you could be using that now, to say if someone clicks on this link, I want to treat them differently than someone who didn't click on the link.
Yeah.
Follow-up message instead is not, did you see the video? If they clicked on the link, it's, what did you think?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, that's powerful. Cool. Yeah, they said that was going to be a part of it, so.
Yeah, it should have already been turned on, but it looks like it's not. So I'll just go in and activate that feature for you.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, that's really all I have. I know as far as like feature wise, we're rolling out some scheduling flows that might be beneficial. So it would be something like you would send out a sign up link, and then there's automated messages that go out based off of that sign up. So it's like a calendar event creation, and then once that is created, it'll have messages scheduled a week before, 3 days before, and that's using a service called Acuity. If you're familiar with that, I don't know if that's something that would be beneficial to you. And then, those smart campaigns is another one that they're working on.
Okay. Yeah, pretty cool. Anything? Do you have any questions? What questions do you have?
Oh, I'm feeling pretty good about it.
You don't have any questions? Max, do you have any questions?
Do you know he's sleeping, Daddy? You may know.
Are you aware of how to import the custom fields?
Oh, no, if you want to share that real quick.
Yeah, so you just type a bracket, and then whatever the information that you want to be included. So contact's last name, contact's first name, and then that will pull that from the address book, so you can make really personalized messages. The other thing that you can do is if you type a semicolon, then you can put emojis. The way that you put in an emoji is you just search the name. If you don't really know, because some of the emojis are not very intuitively named, you can look it up on emojipedia.com, and there it has every emoji and its like official technical name. But yeah, you can add smiley faces, or maybe you like want to add a thumbs up.
Oh, okay, I see.
So you can spice up your messages that way.
Nice.
But yeah, and like I said, if you have any questions at all, you can click on this button down here, and this will open a live chat with our support team. They can answer any technical questions you have, and then also like content related questions they can help out on. You have my number. You can call me and get a hold of me, email, however you want to get a hold of me, and I can help out with anything that you need.
Cool. Yeah, I want to have your boss on a podcast. Is he in this week?
Randy?
Yeah.
He was for sure here this morning. I don't see him right now, but yeah, he'd actually love to do that.
Okay, cool. That'd be awesome.
He's all about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I would love to have on here. All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time.
Okay. Do you have Randy's contact information?
Yes.
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we have a cell phone.
Perfect. All right, I'll mention to him that you'll be reaching out, because yeah, he loves that kind of stuff.
Cool. All right. Thanks, Ryan.
All right, guys.
Okay.
If you need anything, take care.
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Bye.